back with more MasterMind redesigns, aka I was bummed that only 3 out of the 6 sins at the trial got outfits that hinted more to their circus acts. So I'm redesigning everyone to look more like the circus acts they represent, since Viv herself said she based each sin on a circus act. The ones we 100% know the acts of are Lucifer the ringleader, Keshabi the animal tamer, Mammon the jester, and Ozzy the fire dancer. Leviathan and Sloth haven't been officially named yet, but Satan is pretty clearly the strongman act, not that his design really conveys that, other than the small hints of the app and weight pendant on his outfit. But yeah, with that information in mind, and finally seeing the rest of the sins designs, yeah, none of them really look or have the underlying base of their acts in their designs, other than Lucifer and Mammon at first glance. Like, even Lucifer's more dressed up version of his outfit looks like a ringleader's outfit, and Mammon having a jester hat is a pretty telltale sign for anyone. But everyone else, yeah, it could be better. Though I will say Mammon's outfit in MasterMind could have been better, mainly cause his trial outfit feels weirdly more like a stock outfit. Cause for some reason, his original stock outfit feels more on brand for the trials since he's dressed more like a jester, while his trial outfit looks more like a businessman, which oddly makes sense since we know, thanks to Ozzy, Mammon doesn't do clown stuff anymore. Anyway though, his MasterMind outfit isn't that bad, and to me is the best one out of all the sins that showed up. It's even better than Keshabi's and Ozzy's dressed up outfits. Like, even though it's another suit, it still has jester, that's right, jester elements to it. Like, the bottom of the jacket is cut more diamond-y with inverted bell details, and the ends of his sleeves also having that diamond pattern, but also looking like the ends of his gloves from his stock outfit. The jacket also being checkerboard, yes, checkerboard, since his second pair of arms jacket colors are flipped, is a very good mix of jester and more modern styling of the suit. I also love that they changed the jester cap a bit to give the illusion of a crown, even though his original also did that, but because it was black, it wasn't super noticeable. But I kind of wish they drew it similar to the original hat, cause it looks off. Like, with the black version following the lines, it feels like it was sewn in that way. But with the gold, it looks like all the other crowns on a hat we've had with the royals. And don't say in the comments it was so they could give him cat ears. I already know that, and I don't care, okay? I also like his tie, since the money symbol is more noticeable now than in his stock outfit, so it's nice that it was used in a better spot and easier to see. But yeah, I have no major issues with the design, cause honestly the only thing that truly bugs me is the bone designs, which is funny when you remember Mammon is a centipede and they don't really have bones. So I feel the design should have been more bug-like. So yeah, that's like my main overall issue with Mammon, and this is the part where I don't have to explain based on, since surprise, Mammon actually looks like what he's based on. Kinda, cause again, he's apparently a centipede demon and not a spider like the background and his design implied, which, okay, sure. Which, you know what, it is fine, he looks more human, since his more biblical version is human, like that's perfectly fine, but his full demon form, yeah, I'm still getting spider. I mean, spiders do have 8 legs, and I know people count his arms as legs as well, but I mean, with so many style choices going on, it did not cross my mind, nor has it changed my opinion of the design. Plus, with him moving so fast at the end, it made it really hard to notice his back legs, plus the extra eyes did not help. So yeah, but anyway, his MasterMind outfit is the best out of all of them. However though, to me at least, could do without the bone designs. So let's get into the redesign, cause I did a lot more than I thought I would, and I fully blame Muffin for that. Okay, bear in mind, we're told time and time again, Mammon does clown shit, has clown pageants, and Keshabi even calls him a pile of flaming clown shit. So, by that wonderful logic, Mammon is a clown, and that is his act in Hell's Circus. Yet, for some reason, he's dressed like a jester, and never corrects anyone when they call him a clown. And, like I said in my Mammon Reimagined video, clowns and jesters are not the same thing. There is a difference. So yeah, for the redesign, I'm going more clowns, since, you know, they keep saying clown. And don't get me wrong, I kinda get that him being a jester fits in the sense of the royalty part of his themes, like Lucifer is the king, obviously. The other sins are whatever royal role besides princes, and Mammon is the court jester. That's fine, that makes sense. But again, he never corrects anyone on what his act actually is, which honestly is a missed opportunity for him to constantly get upset and go on rants about how jester acts are the high society version of comedy. Cause like it would make so much more sense if Mammon was the only jester within his ring, because then he would be considered the king of the clowns, since jesters are historically like the first clown in a sense. They're not the same thing, obviously, because of the way that they perform. However, though, jesters did come first, so it would make sense for Mammon to be the only jester and everybody else clowns. But like, he never corrects anybody, he never says anything, and it makes no sense every time a character says clown, yet they're dressed as jesters. But to be completely honest though, if they just mixed both styles together, this wouldn't be such an issue for me, cause then Mammon could show hints that he has no idea what he's actually doing, or why what he does is funny to the citizens and sins, since greed does have a weird connection with luck. I like to think Mammon is constantly lucky and is just making shit up as he goes. Like, if we can't have Mammon as the king of the clowns, with him proudly declaring that he's a jester, then have Mammon's act be so muddied and not make any sense, to the point it's very clear that Mammon does not know what he's doing or what he is. Like, there's so much that could be done. So yeah, for the redesign, I went heavier on the clown core, but did sprinkle in some jester elements, which we'll get into that later, cause I did redesign his body. As you can see, I went rogue. So while I think it's fine that Mammon looks more human due to his actual lore depicting him as one, I still think he should technically look more like a centipede when in hell, and especially for the trial, so I made his face more pointed to give off that wide, sharp face centipedes have. I also gave him a butt chin that's more pointed, no particular reason, and pinchers and long antenna with bells on them. And speaking of the antenna, the shape that they make towards his face and the cutoff of his face is meant to give the illusion of a mask, since a lot of clown makeup, or clown makeup I remember when growing up, didn't go all the way to their neck and kind of stopped at just the face and had a color outline giving them this eerie mask look back in the day, and that's what I wanted for Mammon, though I did make the outer line in the forehead area more like a widow's peak that then meets on the bottom of his chin, giving him a 5 o'clock shadow. I hope it's super noticeable, but I did go for like a full fancy hobo clown kind of look, you know, like this particular image. As for his eyes, I just gave him 2 sets, mainly so I wouldn't have to draw his second pair of arms, cause just like Angel and everyone else, I'm tired of them being on the character's waist, and them being there doesn't enhance or tell you what the character is referencing, so why even bother? So yeah, that's why he only has 1 set of arms. Also, you'll notice he now only has 3 fingers instead of 4, mainly cause bug. Oh, I did give him a clown nose. I haven't decided if it's permanent or just for the gag, cause for the longest time, I thought the spot on Fizz's face was a nod to Mammon wearing a clown nose, but, yeah, I was wrong, but I wanted to keep that idea alive, so yeah, clown nose. Plus, how funny would it be if Mammon during the pageant was like, "Here you go, son, a new nose, just like mine to replace your old one," and Fizz is just like, you know that this is just my face, right? As for his clown hair, that's right, hair, since I went more clown, the jester hat kinda had to go, so I styled it to look like a jester hat pointing up and also an allusion to horns. I also like to think he styles his hair crazy, like every time you see him it's something new, something wild for no apparent reason. Anyway, the rest of his body is pretty simple. I went full centipede centaur, and again, I know he only looks like this in the OG because it's his full demon form, but seeing as everyone's full demon forms are just them but bigger with a color change, I figured why not? Plus, how crazy would it be that this is what he looks like 24/7? Like, it's still scary, don't get me wrong, but then his real demon form is like the most nightmarish thing. Think like that bug hybrid design of King Candy, but like 10 times worse. Just imagine that Mammon is already scary as he is, but then his full demon form is just awful. Just absolutely horrific compared to everybody else's. Because that would be so cool if they did that, but they didn't. Oh, and instead of giving him a spider abdomen, I made him more centipede, aka squishy square sections. I did also add spikes to his side, just for the added effect of don't touch me. I also made his bug legs more stubby since Mammon is quite the big boy, so his legs should reflect that. Oh, and I did keep his back legs and the bells. It was so cute not to. And speaking of bells, you'll notice I put a lot on him. This was mainly my hint to his jester side, as bells are more their thing than clowns. As clowns, back in the day,
jingle, jingle, jingle,
costumes were more focused on oversized clothes and a lot of layers, which I kinda did. I mean, he's in a 3-piece suit, though since he's not wearing pants, the third part is the bow tie. Also, before you all yell, yes, clowns wore suits. They were just extremely big. Till later down the years did the outfits become more unique. But I like to think that Mammon is considered the first clown in hell, but also I really wanted him to look like a used car salesman. So yeah, I gave him a big old bow tie with a polka dot pattern, since clowns like to use different patterns in their costumes, whereas jesters use more checkerboard and diamond patterns. Remember that for later. I did keep the collar design of his jester hat, but added bells to them and made it black with gold trim. I then gave him an undershirt with vertical stripes and a vest with the same pattern as his bow tie, but I also added rounded black lapels and diamond buttons with gold trim at the ends of his vest and bells on the tips of the overlapping ends. I did end up keeping the rib part of his jacket, but made them look more like bug legs. As for his overcoat, I just made a simple coat with a split tail for his tail/legs, rolled up the sleeves to give him big cuffs, and put ruffles on his wrist as the bow on top. Also, yes, he has the gloves that the Joker wears in the Batman animated series. Honestly, a lot of my references were the Joker, plus Beetlejuice and Danny DeVito. I just really liked the idea that he was all these crazy characters wrapped in one, and found it funny that Fizz, who is played by the musical version of Beetlejuice, going nuts for a guy who looks like Beetlejuice, but sounds nothing like him. Also, I made the stripes on his jacket horizontal to make it look like a prison jacket, since Mammon is a pretty crooked motherfucker. Though, I will say, I am a bit upset I couldn't make the lapel nicer. I'm not entirely sure what I could do to make it better without overlapping more colors, but everything else is nice. Almost forgot. I gave him a cone hat with gold trim to look like a crown and golden balls. 'Cause why not? Side note, I also gave him a black tooth, as I found it funny for him to have gold teeth but one black tooth. There's some version of symbolism in that, but I'm too tired to remember. But anyway, his colors, yeah, just like Satan, I didn't really stick to his OG colors other than the black, mainly because I love torturing myself by finding new colors and then slowly start to remember me and green don't get along. So yeah, I kind of went with more washed out greens and more ugly green yellows. You know, nothing cute, nothing saturated, just to give Mammon that old car salesman vibe, or basically very old vibe, as I imagine he's the oldest, but also the cheapest as well. Like, instead of constantly getting better and brighter suits, Mammon wears his stuff till it falls apart, or mix and matches his old stuff to make it seem new, but in reality, he's had it forever. I also went heavier with the black and gold, since his body is now also multiple greens, so I kind of needed to block a lot off, but I honestly love this design. It gives off villain vibes and makes my lore heart happy, since yellow is actually Mammon's color, not green, and that's pretty much it. Hands down though, while he looks like a mess, he's my mess, and I really love this design. It's probably my second favorite out of all of them right now, till I draw Lucifer, which, surprise, that's who's next. And then after that, a fun surprise. Not the world building video, something else. I'm trying, you guys. I really am. It's a lot for one person to do because it's mainly like a lot of random doodles to show my work and prove points. So yeah, bear with me and get excited for the next video. Also, we have 2 new members to scream at today. Lynx and I Would Rather Read. Me too, bud. Welcome to the madness. Also, thank you 4'10", Lav Soul Productions, Lupo 15, and Dice Demise, and I Would Rather Read. For the super thanks on my Satan redesign video. Y'all should watch that, by the way. I hear it's really good. Onto the wall of teeth you go. Also, thank you to the other members. You have my whole heart. I have some really fun stuff just for y'all this week, aka Hotel Redemption stuff, so look forward to that. Also, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on my socials right here. And if possible, hit that join button or super to join the Board of Teeth. It really helps out the channel and me. I hope you all have a super fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!